Hey everyone, Zach here. I'm going to be direct with you. 3 years ago, a simple ice storm knocked out power to my entire neighborhood for 5 days. 5 days. You know what shocked me most? It wasn't the darkness or the cold. It was watching my neighbors, people I'd known for years, completely unprepared. One guy was burning charcoal briquettes in his kitchen. Another was driving across town just to charge his phone. I watched chaos unfold that could have been prevented with just a little planning and a few specific items. Here's the reality. The power grid is aging. Infrastructure failures are becoming more frequent. We're facing more extreme weather every single year. The average American experiences over 8 hours of power outages annually now, and that number keeps climbing. But here's what really gets me. Most people think they're prepared because they have a flashlight somewhere in a drawer. They're not prepared. They're one extended blackout away from a genuine crisis. I've been prepping seriously since 2012. That's over a decade of learning through real-world situations, mistakes I've made, and systems I've refined. Today, I'm sharing the 11 specific supplies that actually separate people who thrive during blackouts from people who barely survive. These aren't generic suggestions you'll find on every blog. These are battle-tested essentials that have kept my family safe, comfortable, and functioning during extended outages. Stick around because I'm also sharing something most preparedness content completely overlooks, a perspective on blackout readiness that will change how you think about these supplies forever. Let's start with number 1, and this one is non-negotiable. Your body shuts down after just 3 days without water. That's not a scare tactic, that's human physiology. Yet when the Texas freeze hit, families went nearly a week without running water. The CDC updated their official guidelines this year. You need 1 gallon per person per day, minimum. If you have hot weather conditions or anyone with medical issues, you need to double that. Here's the sobering part. A recent University of California study found that 78% of Americans don't even have a 3-day water supply at home. Are you one of them? Most people think they'll just grab bottled water when something happens. That's not a plan, that's hope. And hope won't keep your family hydrated. During emergencies, bottled water is the first thing to disappear from shelves, and what remains is either overpriced or reserved for people with money. You need stored water today. Forget those flimsy milk jugs that break down after a few years and leach chemicals. The smart move is BPA-free water bricks. These stackable containers are space efficient, last for years without degradation, and they actually stack neatly in closets or garage corners. I've got 12 of them stashed in my garage right now, and they take up less space than you'd think. On a tighter budget, those blue 7-gallon containers work fine. Just keep them out of direct sunlight and away from temperature swings. But here's what really separates the truly prepared from the merely hopeful. What happens when your stored water runs out? This is where water purification becomes your actual lifeline. Purification tablets are incredible. These tiny little tablets can make questionable water safe in about 30 minutes. They're cheap, they last forever, and they weigh almost nothing. I've got bottles of them in 3 different locations. My game changer has been a gravity-fed water filter. During last summer's blackout, my neighbors were standing in long lines paying $10 per gallon for bottled water. I was filtering rainwater and stream water for free. The latest models remove 99.9999% of bacteria and viruses. That's not just good, that's exceptional. A gravity filter costs less than $50 and works without electricity, batteries, or moving parts. It's passive. It just sits there working when you need it. Here's the bottom line on water. Water infrastructure fails first in almost every disaster scenario. With about $60 spent in one afternoon, you can build a water system that keeps your family hydrated through virtually any emergency. When the taps run dry, and they will, you don't want to be knocking on doors begging for a drink. Number 2 is something I learned the hard way, and it's honestly painful to talk about. When the power died last winter, the Texas emergency room saw a horrifying 700% spike in carbon monoxide poisoning cases. Desperate people brought grills and camp stoves indoors. I actually lost a distant cousin this way during Hurricane Sandy. He was just trying to keep his family warm and cooked a meal indoors using improper equipment. It was preventable. That tragedy sits with me, which is why I'm so specific about this. You absolutely need alternative cooking solutions, but they have to be safe alternatives.
First, get a butane stove. A 2024 consumer safety study identified these as the safest indoor emergency cooking option when you maintain proper ventilation. I grabbed mine for $25 and the fuel canisters last for hours. I've cooked everything from simple ramen to full pasta dishes on this thing. The key is cracking a window and never ever leaving it unattended. That's non-negotiable. For longer outages, a propane grill is essential. The newest models from companies like Camp Chef and Coleman include battery-free ignition systems specifically designed for emergency situations. I learned this lesson when my electric ignition grill failed during our last neighborhood outage. Now I keep matches and lighters stored right next to the grill. Plus, I maintain at least 2 extra propane tanks at all times. During extended emergencies, propane becomes scarcer than toilet paper during the pandemic. People panic by it. You want to have yours already on hand. Here's a trending solution that honestly blew my mind when I first tested it: solar ovens. These units can hit 350 degrees using pure sunshine. I was skeptical until my neighbor made an entire lasagna during last summer's 3-day blackout using nothing but solar power. The latest models fold flat for storage and set up in seconds. Even on cloudy days, they'll heat food to 200 degrees, which is enough to sanitize water and slow cook meals. The efficiency is remarkable, and there are no moving parts to fail. Don't overlook that dusty camping gear in your garage. Those little folding stoves with hexamine fuel tablets are perfect for heating soup or coffee. They're compact, incredibly cheap, and the fuel tablets last forever. I keep one in my emergency kit and another in my car. These are underrated because they seem too simple, but simplicity is reliability. Consider wood-burning options too. Rocket stoves, which you see on survival shows, actually work incredibly well. They run on twigs and small branches, and during last year's ice storm, I cooked 3 full meals daily using nothing but fallen branches from my yard. The efficiency is mind-blowing. Just a handful of sticks boils water in minutes. You're basically utilizing renewable fuel that's literally lying on the ground.
Storage and safety matter. The National Fire Protection Association reports that improper fuel storage caused 42% of home fires during emergencies. Keep propane tanks outside. Store butane canisters in cool, dry places. Always rotate fuel if it's been sitting too long. When everyone else is eating cold beans straight from a can by candlelight, you'll be enjoying hot meals. That matters for more than just nutrition. It matters for morale when everything else is falling apart. Number 3 is something people actually have but completely misuse. Your phone's flashlight dies in 20 minutes. Then what? I know a woman named Sarah from Michigan who relied on candles during an ice storm. One tipped over while she slept. It nearly burned her house down. A $20 investment could have prevented that nightmare entirely. When the Texas grid failed, emergency rooms reported a 43% spike in fall injuries from people stumbling in the dark. Broken bones, head injuries, serious accidents that could have been prevented with proper lighting. Don't become a statistic. Battery-powered lanterns are absolute game changers. The new LED models from this year are insanely efficient. Some run 300 hours on low settings. I keep one in every single room of my house. The Lumine Packlight Nova just topped Consumer Reports with its 24-hour runtime on high and 5-year battery shelf life. What I love most is how it collapses flat for storage but inflates into a full lantern when needed. The diffused light is much easier on your eyes during extended blackouts than harsh direct flashlight beams. It feels less oppressive when darkness surrounds you. Headlamps are not just for campers anymore. When I had to fix a leaking pipe during a blackout, my headlamp literally saved the day. I could see what I was doing with both hands free. The newest models weigh under 3 ounces and have red light modes that preserve your night vision. My neighbor Mark used his to read bedtime stories to his terrified kids during a storm. Sometimes light is about comfort and psychological well-being as much as pure function. Solar-powered lighting is where this industry is headed, and for good reason. A Department of Energy study found that solar-powered lights with built-in batteries can work up to 12 years without battery replacement. I was skeptical until I tested some during hurricane season. Even after 3 consecutive cloudy days, my solar lanterns provided enough light to read by comfortably. The latest models include USB ports to charge small devices, which is just brilliant design. Emergency management agencies now recommend solar options as primary backups because they eliminate the battery storage problem entirely. No batteries to expire or leak, no rotation schedule to remember. They just sit on a shelf, charge in daylight, and work when you need them. Here's something that shocked me. Storing batteries in the refrigerator does not extend their life. I learned this from Energizer's research lab. Room temperature storage in a dry place is actually optimal. Those expensive lithium batteries last up to 10 times longer than alkalines, especially in high-drain devices like flashlights. I made this mistake during my first blackout. I'd stored my emergency flashlight batteries in the refrigerator and they died within hours when I actually needed them. Not ideal. Number 4 might be the most important one for staying connected to your world. It's 11:47 p.m. You're in the middle of a text when everything goes dead. No lights, no Wi-Fi, your phone is clinging to 12% battery. In a blackout, electricity becomes survival currency. Without backup power, you're instantly pushed back 100 years. Power banks are no longer just convenient airport phone chargers. The newest models pack serious punch. We're talking 25,000 to 30,000 milliamp hours. That's enough to charge your smartphone 5 to 6 times, keep USB-powered fans running through the night, and give your laptop extra life. Models like the Anker Power Core with 26,800 capacity or the Solar X 42,800 come with built-in solar panels letting you recharge indefinitely during longer outages. Keep these banks topped off and ready. One by your bed, one in the pantry, one in the car. Bonus points for models with multiple USB ports so your family isn't fighting over cables. Some newer banks have USB-C ports powerful enough to run tablets, drones, or portable Wi-Fi routers. Think about what devices are actually critical in your household and plan accordingly.
For blackouts lasting more than a day, you need backup for your backup. This is where portable generators become relevant. Don't let that word intimidate you. Today's generators are compact, quiet, and incredibly versatile. Look for dual-fuel models like the Westinghouse Win 7500DF. It runs on propane or gasoline, giving you options when one fuel source becomes scarce. Some new entries are solar-powered or come with lithium battery packs and are so quiet you'd forget they're running. A mid-range generator can power your refrigerator for 8 to 12 hours on a single tank. It can run space heaters for cold weather emergencies, power medical devices if needed, and yes, even your coffee maker if you're determined to maintain some normalcy. Generators require planning though. That means storing extra fuel safely, checking oil levels, and testing them before emergencies actually hit. Do test runs every few weeks. Keep logs. Rotate fuel if it's been sitting too long. Always keep carbon monoxide safety in mind. Run generators outdoors. Invest in models with CO shutdown protection. The trending upgrade is solar generators. Quiet, clean, endlessly rechargeable with sunshine. Companies like Jackery and EcoFlow are pushing boundaries with all-in-one battery banks that charge phones, power lights, and run small appliances off foldable solar panels. Power banks and generators aren't nice-to-haves. They're your lifeline when everything collapses. Number 5 is something people think they have, but actually don't. It's 8 p.m. Everything is dark, and you open the refrigerator with that sinking feeling. Every fresh item inside is now on a countdown to spoil. If your pantry isn't stocked with proper non-perishables, you're in serious trouble. Not all non-perishables are created equal. Just because something's canned doesn't mean it'll keep you nourished or sane during a multi-day outage. Start with canned protein, tuna, chicken, beans. These aren't filler foods. They provide energy and protein when stress and anxiety are taking their toll on your body. Add shelf-stable carbs like rice, oats, or instant mashed potatoes. Some require water or minimal heat, but with a butane stove or a thermos, you're golden. Think nutrient density. Peanut butter, trail mix, and granola bars keep you full and focused. Dried fruits like apricots and raisins offer natural sugars and fiber.
UHT milk or powdered milk adds calcium, protein, and versatility to your options. Here's the math that overwhelms people. The average adult needs 2,000 calories daily. For a family of 4, that's 112,000 calories for a 2-week emergency supply. It sounds overwhelming. Break it down. High-calorie staples like beans, rice, peanut butter, and canned soups make it surprisingly manageable and cost-effective. Your rotation strategy is crucial. Think use and replace. Whenever you use a can or package, replace it with fresh stock at the back. It's called FIFO, first in, first out. Every 6 months, do a pantry audit. Check for bulging cans, weird smells, or missed expiration dates. Label everything clearly. Store items off the floor, out of sunlight. Keep a printed list of your inventory. You don't want to count cans by candlelight during a real emergency. Many preppers are adding no-cook kits to their stockpiles, ready-to-eat packs you can open and consume straight. Beans, crackers, jerky, trail mix, canned fruit, no heating, no prep, just sustenance when you need it. Don't forget morale food. When you're stressed, scared, and sitting in darkness, a simple cup of instant hot chocolate or a spoonful of your favorite spread can lift spirits more than you'd think. This isn't frivolous. This is survival strategy. Morale is real and it affects decision-making. The grid might fail, but your household doesn't have to. Number 6 is something nobody wants to talk about until it's too late. Your child is running 102-degree fever in total darkness, and your medicine cabinet is completely empty. This nightmare happened to my neighbor last winter. A CDC study found that 68% of Americans don't have adequate emergency medical supplies at home. That's terrifying. When power goes out, pharmacies close and hospitals get overwhelmed. You're on your own, and you need to be prepared. Your Blackout first aid kit needs more than Band-Aids. Stock pain relievers, fever reducers, antihistamines, and rehydration solutions. The American Red Cross now recommends a 7-day supply, up from their previous 3-day guidance after last year's extended outages.
If you or someone in your household takes prescriptions, this is critical. A shocking 2024 survey revealed that 43% of people with chronic conditions ran out of medication during extended emergencies. Talk to your doctor about emergency backup supplies. Many insurance companies now cover this after the Healthcare Emergency Preparedness Act passed last year. If anyone in your family uses electrical medical devices, you absolutely need backup power. New portable battery systems can run CPAP machines for 3 nights on a single charge. This is legitimate life-saving equipment. Here's my personal hack that came from real experience. Create medication cards for everyone in your family. List all medications, dosages, and allergies. During our last blackout, my dad's phone died and he couldn't remember his heart medication name when we finally reached a working pharmacy. That little guard was literally a lifesaver. Special considerations matter too. Diabetics need extra glucose tablets and backup insulin storage. Asthmatics need multiple inhalers. Anyone with mobility issues needs backup batteries for wheelchairs or scooters. This isn't generic preparedness. This is knowing your family's actual needs. Don't forget basic wound care supplies. Gauze, antiseptic, medical tape, instant cold packs. During a blackout, a simple cut can become dangerous when you can't properly clean or treat it. Consider a basic medical reference book too. When you can't Google symptoms or treatments, having a physical guide becomes invaluable. During extended outages, minor injuries become major problems if left untreated. Number 7 is something that becomes precious the moment the power goes out. When Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, people weren't searching for food first. They desperately needed ways to call loved ones and know their families were safe. Communication became more valuable than gold. What's the first thing you do when disaster strikes? You reach for your phone. But what happens when it dies and there's no power for days? A 2024 Red Cross survey found that 78% of Americans have absolutely no backup communication plan during emergencies. That's nearly 8 out of 10 people who will be completely isolated when the grid goes down. First, get a hand crank emergency radio with NOAA weather alerts. The Midland ER310 is my personal favorite. 6 minutes of cranking gives 30 minutes of radio time. This isn't just for weather updates, it's often the only way officials share evacuation instructions when cell towers fail. Many emergency radios include USB ports to charge your phone too.
Invest in a power bank with at least 20,000 milliamp capacity. The new Anchor models can recharge your phone up to 5 times. Keep it fully charged at all times. This is non-negotiable. Here's what most people completely miss: physical maps and written contact lists. A shocking 67% of Americans don't know a single phone number by heart anymore. When your phone's dead, who can you call from a landline or borrowed phone? Write those numbers down now. I keep a waterproof notebook with essential contacts, meeting locations, and basic medical information. It costs $3 and could save my family's lives.
The latest trend gaining traction is mesh network devices like Gotana or Meshistick. These gadgets let you text and share GPS locations with others up to 4 miles away, completely off-grid, no cell service needed. Search and rescue teams use these, and they're becoming affordable for everyday folks. Another option gaining popularity is satellite messaging devices like the Garmin InReach Mini. Yes, they're pricey at $350 plus subscription, but they work literally anywhere on the planet. For families with medical needs or remote locations, this could be a game changer. During the Texas blackout, people with communication tools weren't just more comfortable, they were safer. They knew which shelters had space, where to find water, and could coordinate with neighbors. Number 8 is uncomfortable, but essential. Let's discuss something nobody wants to talk about until it's too late. What happens when you can't flush? During the Texas blackout, emergency rooms saw a 47% spike in UTI cases because people avoided using bathrooms when they couldn't flush. The average toilet needs 1.6 gallons per flush. Without running water, you're in trouble fast. A 2023 CDC report found that sanitation-related illnesses tripled during extended power outages. This isn't dramatic, this is documented medical reality. Camping toilets are trending among urban preppers. These portable options cost around $30 and use special bags that trap odors and break down waste. I keep mine under the bed with 20 bags. For budget options, a 5-gallon bucket with a toilet seat lid works too. Just add cat litter after each use. Temperature control is critical. During 2024 heatwave blackouts, hospital admissions for heat-related illness jumped 63%. A battery-powered fan can literally save your life. For cold weather, those Mylar emergency blankets retain 90% of body heat when used correctly. I keep one for each family member. Personal hygiene becomes challenging fast. Baby wipes become gold when you can't shower for days. The latest no-rinse bathing wipes contain antibacterial agents that prevent skin infections during extended outages. Stock up on these. They're game changers for morale and health. Don't forget feminine hygiene products, diapers if needed, and basic toiletries. Toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, these small items make a huge difference in maintaining dignity during tough times. Here's my promised blackout hack. Double bag your trash during outages. The CDC found improper waste disposal during blackouts increased rodent infestations by 78%. A simple garbage bag system keeps disease vectors away from your home. Consider comfort items too. Board games, books, puzzles, anything that doesn't require electricity but keeps minds occupied. Stress and boredom compound during extended outages. Number 9 is something preppers often overlook. Speaking of stress, most people don't realize that information is power during emergencies. Not information in the abstract sense, but actual, accurate, actionable information. A physical emergency reference library might sound old-fashioned, but it's invaluable when the internet is gone. First aid guides, water purification instructions, basic electrical troubleshooting manuals. I keep a collection of maybe 8 books that cover most emergency scenarios. They cost $30 total and have saved me hundreds in contractor fees when I could figure out a problem myself.
Create a family emergency binder with important documents, contact information, and your action plan. Store copies in waterproof bags. Insurance information, property documentation, medical records. When you need to file claims after a disaster, digital copies are gone if your device has died. Physical copies are permanent. Number 10 is about thinking beyond your own home. Establish neighborhood networks before disasters hit. That community in California created their own mesh network after repeated wildfire evacuations. When power and cell towers failed during the last fire, they were the only neighborhood with reliable communication. They coordinated evacuations, shared resources, and kept people safe. They did that months before the actual emergency. Practice blackout drills quarterly with your family. Turn off your main breaker for a few hours and see what you're actually missing. You'll discover gaps in your preparation you never considered. My last drill showed me that I'd forgotten about medications that require refrigeration. That discovery happened in practice, not in a crisis. Consider your pets too. They need food, water, and comfort items just like humans. Many people forget pet supplies until it's too late. If you have pets, they're part of your emergency planning. Number 11 is the final piece that most people ignore entirely. Keep actual cash on hand. ATMs and card readers don't work without power. During Hurricane Sandy, cash was king for several days when nobody could use their cards. I keep $200 in small bills in my emergency kit. It's not a fortune, but it's enough to make critical purchases when digital systems fail. The National Weather Service predicts a 40% increase in extreme weather events this year alone. The time to prepare is now, not when warnings start blaring. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to prepare you. The reality is that 78% of Americans admit they're not ready for prolonged power outages. Don't be one of them. Before I wrap up, I want to share something that actually helped us tremendously, and I think it'll help you too. By the way, because I know how overwhelming prepping can feel, I put together a free resource for you. It's called the 90-Day Food Supply Guide, and it shows you exactly how to turn $50 into a 3-month food supply for your family. This guide includes the exact shopping list with specific brands and prices, 37 essential preparedness items most people never think to stockpile, simple storage tricks that work in any home or apartment, emergency meals you can make with zero cooking fuel or electricity, and step-by-step instructions for scaling up from 1 week to 3 months with confidence. All of this is yours completely free. The link is in the description and pinned in the comments. No email required, no upsells. It's genuinely just a resource I put together to help people like you avoid the mistakes I made. Last winter, when that ice storm left 400,000 homes powerless for 5 days, the Red Cross reported something fascinating. Households with these 11 basics experienced 70% less stress during the crisis. 70% less stress. These supplies aren't just about surviving, they're about maintaining dignity, health, and peace of mind when everything else falls apart. Your family deserves better than cold beans by candlelight while wondering if help is coming. The grid might be more fragile than ever, but you don't have to be. Start with one category today. Build gradually. Test your systems. Most importantly, don't wait until you're sitting in the dark wishing you'd watched this video sooner. If this helped you think differently about blackout prep, hit that like button. It really helps more people find this crucial information. Subscribe for more practical preparedness content that could literally save your life someday. Drop a comment sharing your own blackout experiences or which supply you're tackling first. Stay safe, stay prepared, and remember, the best time to prepare for a blackout is when the lights are still on. I'll see you in the next one.